Hey guys, I'm Steff and welcome back to my beauty stash. Today I'm going to be doing a 2-day 10-hour wear test and a little concealer combat with the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. I picked up shade 3 in this one. I was a little torn between shade 3 and 4 and perhaps even 5. If this works out, I may go in store and look at shade 5. I recommend that. With this concealer, it was a little difficult for me to shade match online, and I was looking at like the undertones and stuff. The shade that I got is described as a fair to light with peach undertones, and then shade 4 was fair to light with pink undertones. So I definitely wanted this for my under eye area, so that's why I guess I went a little bit lighter than I normally would. But then I also like a concealer to spot conceal right here on the sides of my cheeks. So we'll see if this works out, whether I buy another shade in it or not. This is not an inexpensive concealer. It retails for $29, which I guess is a fair price point for Anastasia Beverly Hills, and you do get 0.4 ounces of product in here. Now there are 25 shades available on the Ulta and Sephora website. I am going to be wear testing this for the next 2 days, 10 hours each day. Today is actually day 1 when I'm filming it, and side note, I did kind of cheat a little bit. I tried this yesterday. So my ColourPop Sonic Bloom video, I am wearing this concealer and I just put it on to try it out. I think I had it on for about 5 or 6 hours, and I did end up wearing it with the Flower Beauty Miracle Matte Finishing Powder. This is a beautiful finishing powder, and it did just fine. It did just fine. I did have, you know, some slight concerns at the 6-hour mark, but I thought, you know what? I just wanted to see what it was going to be about. Today and tomorrow are the real wear tests. So how this wear test is going to go is day 1, you're going to watch me apply the concealer. I am going to be setting one of my eyes and the other, not going to set it. That way we can see how the concealer wears, because there are a lot of claims with this concealer, and we'll get into all of that right now. And then on day 2, I'm going to be comparing it to my current favorite concealer, and that is the LANCOME Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Cover Concealer. I use shade 1N in this one. It's a beautiful concealer. It's a beautiful concealer. It is super, super similar, if not a spot on, I wouldn't say dupe because they're about the same price, but for the Dior Forever Skin Correct, which is also a concealer I love, and I have already reviewed this concealer on my channel. I will definitely have it linked up above so you guys can check out that concealer combat. But we're gonna incorporate that in today's video just because that is my go-to concealer right now. And these are both really similar concealers as far as price point, as far as what they do. So we're gonna take care of all of that in today's video. Now, just to give you a quick background on me, in case it is your first time here on my channel. Hi, my name is Steff. Welcome. I hope if you like this video, you'll give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel before you go. I am 39 years old and I do have normal to oily skin, oily primarily in my T-zone. Right now, my major concerns are the fine lines under my eye area and my large visible pores. I am always looking for a good concealer, a good foundation, a good powder, that little trio of products that's gonna magically just blur all of my imperfections. I did struggle with acne growing up, so I do have some old acne scars right here on the sides of my cheeks. So I do like a concealer that can help spot conceal those areas when needed. So I'm excited. I'm excited for today's video. I am going to insert some swatches of this concealer outdoors in natural lighting as well as indoors, and I'm going to be comparing it to other concealers in my stash just to help you guys get a good shade match, because for me, I'm usually pretty good about picking foundation and concealer online, but this one was, I felt a little bit off, but it actually turned out to be a pretty decent shade. Just heads up on that. So first we're gonna dive into specifics, then I'll take you into the swatches, then we will start the application, and then we will continue on with the 2-day 10-hour wear test. Of course, you guys know I'm going to be giving you all check-ins throughout the day so you can see how this new ABH concealer, this is the Magic Touch Concealer, is is wearing on my 39-year-old normal to oily skin. If you guys want to see this new ABH concealer in action, keep on watching. All right, guys, this concealer has a lot of claims to it. Again, it comes in 25 different shades and it retails for $29. It says the Magic Touch Concealer by ABH is a lightweight, creamy formula that is going to melt into the skin. It's going to correct, brighten, blur, and conceal while blending to a natural second skin finish. All that so far sounds really great to me. This is going to provide buildable medium to full coverage. Totally fine with that as well. And it's also going to be light reflecting. It says it has light reflecting ingredients that's going to create a soft focus effect. Now there's a ton more of information written here on the Ulta Beauty website. Couple things that I do want to point out. It says it's going to help blur pores, which I'm completely fine with that. Fine lines and wrinkles, no caking or settling. So I'm good with all of that as well. It says it's going to be very blendable and it's also going to be very comfortable for all day wear. It says it contains plant-based glycerin, which is going to help moisturize. I'm totally fine with that. It says that it's going to extend playtime for a perfect placement and flexible blendability before setting. So that's great too. It says it's a multi-use formula. It can obviously be used to spot conceal, to highlight, to color correct, and just for all over coverage. It says that it's ideal for all skin types. And again, I am a normal to oily skin type. It is cruelty-free, dermatologist tested, ophthalmologist tested, and it is formulated without parabens, gluten, alcohol, or fragrance. And of course, there are some clinical tests that were conducted on this concealer. Right now, it has a 5-star rating on the Ulta Beauty website, but it's only showing 2 reviews. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm gonna be adding to that 5-star rating or not. I'm definitely anxious to give this a try for you guys. And let's jump into it. First, I'm gonna show y'all swatches and then I'll take you into the application portion of the video. All right, let's start applying the Magic Touch Concealer. Once again, I am in shade 3. A little here. So today is day 1. I'm going to set one eye and then the other I'm not going to set. I do want to mention I went in with the ABH foundation. This is their Luminous Foundation and I use the shade 160C in this one. All right, so let's start blending this in. Now, I was torn between shade 4 and shade 3. I didn't go and look at this in store. I was just going based off of the swatches online. So, after more careful examination, I decided that shade 3 would probably be a little bit better for me. And shade 3 is described as fair to light with peach undertone, or maybe it's just fair with peach undertone. And shade 4 had a pink undertone. Now, I can kind of go either way, but I definitely prefer something more of a warmer toned. So that's why I thought, you know what, I'll just go down to shade 3. And I'm glad I did. I think this is a nice shade for me. And I was even debating on shade 5. I have to go look at them in store because I think that the swatches, for me, it was a little hard to kind of make up my mind which shade I wanted to go with. But this shade seems to be doing just fine. All right, so this is what it's looking like. I think that I get good coverage right from the start. I am not going to add more. I'm not going to build it up. I'm pretty happy with the coverage it gives. Again, it is a medium to full buildable coverage concealer. I mean, there was just so many claims. You heard me say them earlier. There's just so many claims with this concealer about it being pore blurring and filling, whatever it is. It's just going to be light reflecting, and basically it's just going to make us look fabulous, supposedly. So I know this is slightly lighter than my skin tone, but I'm still going to use it to spot conceal just because this is the area I would normally spot conceal, and I do have large pores in here. So let's see how it's going to go. Now, if I do end up liking this concealer, I might get another shade, one that's more closely or a spot on match to my skin tone, although this is kind of blending out pretty well. We'll see. This would probably be more of a fall winter concealer, even into spring. I usually don't get a tan until summer anyway. But yeah, that looks nice. It's very creamy. It feels very similar to other concealers I have in my stash, and which is why we're going to be comparing it tomorrow to my favorite at the moment, which is the new LANCOME concealer. That and the Dior. Those are my favorite, like, high-end concealers. They're fantastic. But this is kind of the similar consistency. Those do provide full coverage right off the bat, but I think that this is definitely providing full coverage, at least for me. I like it. It looks nice. It feels very hydrating. It kind of reminds me of the e.l.f. Camo concealer, the hydrating one, although I feel this formula is just a tad bit thicker and definitely provides more coverage than that one does. So, okay. Now I'm gonna set one eye, and I guess I'm gonna set this one. So let me pat out any creases. This also says it's going to be creaseless. It just says it's gonna do anything and everything. And I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite translucent setting powders. This is from Catrice. This is the True Skin Mineral Loose Powder with hyaluronic acid. I don't know if this is back in stock at Ulta. A lot of Catrice products have been sold out, and with good reason, because they're pretty good. So I'm just getting a little bit of powder. Make sure everything is smooth. I think it looks pretty good. You can definitely see that it's more matte on this side versus this side. I like it. It didn't get cakey. It doesn't look makeup-y or crepey or anything like that. It looks good. So I'm not going to set this side, but I am going to set like my T-zone and stuff, just because this is a luminous foundation that I'm wearing. And to be honest, I haven't worn this foundation in quite a while. I have reviewed this. This was very early on in my YouTube days when I reviewed this foundation. And if I remember correctly, this only got me like a good 6 hours of wear before it kind of started to break up and not look so great. Okay, now I can already see it's kind of settling into my fine lines right there versus this side. I'm pretty sure you can see that. I'm playing with my lighting. In these last couple of videos, I'm turning off some of the lights, and that way you can see more of, you know, what it would look like in person, because I think the studio lights, they kind of drown out the actual texture that is on my skin. And so I really want you guys to see, you know, how my under eye area looks, all my imperfections. We're gonna leave it like this. I am gonna be wearing it for 10 hours today, 10 hours tomorrow. I will be back in 5 hours to give you guys the first check-in. We'll see how it's wearing. I'm gonna be very anxious to see this eye, see how it goes without setting powder. So stay tuned. Hey guys, this is the 5-hour check-in with the new ABH Magic Touch Concealer. This is the eye without the setting powder, and then this is the one that has it. What do you guys think? Do you even see a difference? I can definitely see a difference. I just looked in the mirror right now, and there's definitely some settling into the fine lines that I have on this eye. And I kind of feel like I lost a little bit of coverage, like going more towards the outer portion of my eye versus this side.
I wouldn't say it looks completely smooth. Like, I've definitely worn concealers and powders that make the under eye area look way more smooth than this one looks right now, but it's not terrible. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. And there you can see, like, I think this eye looks pretty much the way it did when I applied the makeup this morning. This one doesn't look bad. I mean, you really have to know what you're looking for to be able to see a difference if you were here in person talking with me. But I definitely think it is a hydrating concealer. That I will give it, and it does feel lightweight, even though it is more of a medium to full coverage. It's buildable coverage. I do like the coverage, and I do like the finish of it and the overall formulation of it. I just don't know how smoothing and blurring it really is, especially on its own. For right now, I definitely think this is going to be a concealer that you're going to want to set. And if you don't like to set your under eye area, just be prepared for a little bit of settling into those fine lines and perhaps even a little bit of loss of coverage as the day goes. But not terrible, guys. I mean, it's 5 hours. I have been indoors and outdoors all day. It is hot and humid, and I am about to sit down, relax for a bit, and I will be back in 5 more hours to give you guys the final check-in for this day 1 wear test. All right, guys, we've come to the end of this day 1 10-hour wear test with the new ABH concealer. No powder, powder. I think both sides look identical at this point. I don't see much of a difference. I guess if I'm really gonna nitpick and like really look up close, I do see a little bit more settling in this eye because it's not set. But honestly, like just randomly looking at myself in the mirror, like a non-magnification mirror, I wouldn't be able to tell. And guys, I need to give a shout out to this ABH Luminous Foundation. Hadn't worn this in a while. It's been 10 hours with no touch-ups. My skin looks pretty good. This foundation has held up really well. Guys, I live in South Texas. The heat and humidity is unreal this time of year, and I've been indoors and outdoors all day long. I've been doing laundry, so my laundry room is inside part of my garage, and I have to go outside to get to that part of the house. So I've been in and out all day. I've done 4 loads of laundry. So yeah, it's definitely been a hot day. I've definitely put this makeup to the test, but I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the way this concealer held up. I am going to be very anxious to try it tomorrow against the LANCOME concealer, which is my favorite of the moment, and we'll see how this new ABH is going to wear in this mini concealer combat, so stay tuned.
All right, guys, this is day 2, concealer combat day. So I'm going to be doing the new LANCOME Tint Idole Ultra Wear All Cover Concealer on the left eye. And then on the right eye, we're going to go in with the new one from ABH. And I am going to set both under eye areas with the Urban Decay All Nighter Loose Setting Powder. I'm also going to spot conceal both sides of my face with each concealer. The foundation that I'm wearing today is the latest one from YSL. This is the new Bare Look Tint, and I use the shade NU2 in this one. I have done a review already. I will have it linked up above in case you want to check it out. This is a very sheer, lightweight skin tint. So let's get started. I'm going to go in with the LANCOME first, and in LANCOME I wear shade 110. I think I might have mentioned yesterday I use the shade 1N. 1N is the Dior, 110 is for LANCOME. I'm going to spot conceal right here. Now this is my favorite concealer of the moment. I just love the finish it gives. I love how seamless it is and how it wears under my eye area especially. I'm going in with the bottom side of the sponge just because I'm going to use the tip for the ABH concealer. I don't want to mix them. But they're both very similar in texture. Although I feel like this LANCOME one, now that I have them on, it might be Might be a little lighter. Let's see, I'll let you know once I apply the ABH one. All right, now I'm gonna go in with the ABH. This one definitely feels a little thicker than that Lancome. Yeah, I was right. And I think this is a slightly lighter shade as well. I want to say the Lancome one is or it has like a neutral undertone. This one has a peach undertone. I am going to add a little bit of the ABH right here to the forehead, down my nose, right there on my chin. All right, so what do y'all think? ABH Lancome. I think they both look pretty good. I mean, I just applied them, so I don't know how different they would look. Now it's gonna be the real test because we're gonna add the setting powder. I'm gonna be using that Blendiful from Tati Beauty. Let's start first with the Lancome side. Flip it around. All right. So I think right now both look pretty identical. I don't see that one is providing more coverage than the other. The powder is laying really well on top of these two concealers, and I like the way they look. Definitely as far as weight goes, the Lancome does feel a little bit lighter weight versus the ABH, but I do love the coverage that both are providing. I'm gonna add some powder to my T-zone. And I'm also actually just going to powder the rest of my face. I'm not going in with any cream products today. All right, guys, so I will be back in 5 hours to give you guys the midday check-in, and we'll see how this little concealer combat is coming along.
Hey guys, 5-hour check-in here on this little concealer combat. We got Lancome on this side and the new ABH on this side. And I think both are looking pretty identical and pretty good right now. I think I am liking the Urban Decay All Nighter Loose Setting Powder much better with the ABH concealer, as well as with the Lancome concealer. I feel like the under eye area at this time yesterday looked a little bit more, I guess it was accentuating more of the fine lines, versus today I feel like it looks a little bit smoother. So I do think that has something to do with the setting powder, and it's always a hard one, guys. It's always just trial and error, trying to find that perfect combination of products that's going to work best for your skin type. But so far, so good. I would say that they're both at a tie right now, but I will be back in another 5 hours to give you guys my final thoughts and the results of this mini concealer combat. All right, guys, we've come to the end of this little concealer combat and me trying out the new ABH Magic Touch Concealer. On this eye is the ABH, and on the left eye is my all-time favorite. Well, I shouldn't say all-time favorite, but current favorite, possibly all-time favorite, LANCOME Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. Guys, we have a tie tonight. We have a tie, and usually I don't like to have ties. Like, I like to pick a clear winner, but I have to say both eyes look identical. And I love the way this Urban Decay All Nighter Loose Setting Powder set this concealer down. This has been my favorite powder so far with the ABH Magic Touch Concealer. The very first day I tried it, I didn't try it on camera. I just tried it, you know, here at the house. And I used that Flower Beauty Miracle Matte Finishing Powder. That is a really great powder. That's one of my new favorite powders. But I kind of felt it made the concealer settle into my fine lines. And then yesterday you saw me, I used it with the Catrice True Skin Powder, and that one did a little bit better than the Flower Beauty, but definitely this Urban Decay powder, which it is one of my favorite powders of 2021, that really set the under eye area better with both of these concealers. So I like this concealer, guys. Both of these cost 29 bucks. You do get slightly more product in the Lancome. This is a 0.43 fluid ounces, and then this one is 0.4 fluid ounces. But, you know, they pretty much do the exact same thing. They feel very similar in texture and consistency. As far as the coverage, I do think they both provided full coverage. They're definitely both buildable, and I do like the way both sides went on as a spot concealer. I might, since I do like this ABH concealer, I might go up a shade in this one, just so it's more so my skin tone and not more so of a brightening concealer. But I definitely think it's worth checking out. Maybe you tried the Lancome, maybe you tried the Dior, maybe you're just looking for a new concealer. I would definitely check this out. There are 25 different shades. You can find it at Sephora, you can find it at Ulta, on the ABH website. I'm pretty sure it's already like at all ABH retailers. And if you have mature under eyes, if you have, you know, all those fine lines, maybe they're just now creeping in, no matter what your skin type, I truly think you're going to like this concealer. And I'll leave it up to you whether you want to set it or not. I prefer to set mine, but you might not prefer to do that. I wore it for 10 hours, guys, yesterday, today. I like it. No complaints. Today it ended definitely on a high note. Sorry about the tie with concealer combat, but sometimes that's just how it goes. So this ABH Magic Touch Concealer is getting a thumbs up for me, 2 thumbs up if I wasn't holding my phone with the other hand. So now it's time for me to hear from you. Please let me know your thoughts about this new concealer. Is it something you're going to be picking up? Maybe you bought it already. Definitely sound off below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink that water, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.